Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I don't know if you can hear this, but it is raining like cats and dogs outside, along with thunder and lightning. And at any moment I could lose power, but that's okay. I'm just going to speak louder. So, George Woods, how long ago? A month ago? Sent me this kit. He opened it up on Sean, the scale model car guy channel. He opened this kit up on his channel and said that he was going to send it to me, that I didn't have to bear the pain of removing the original cellophane, which I believe it was original. MPC kits were wrapped back in the 60s. This is a 1965 Gangbusters MPC kit. This thing is in pristine. It looks like it was bought yesterday. It really hurts me to have to build this and not keep it on the shelf, but George sent it to me to build and I said I would, and I'm going to build it. So it's a 27 Lincoln Roadster. I did a box opening on this kit, and if you want to go back and check that out, see all the parts. It's got lots of neat little parts. I'm going to build it not as a shot up gangster mobile, but I'm going to build it as just a 27 Lincoln. It's got two windshields. It's got one that's got the bullet holes all in it and things like that. I want to go with more of the clean, well, actually like the one on the box here, just not quite shot up yet. It's got all kind of little characters and little implements, bottles, and it's just got all kinds of neat little stuff. So I'm going to get started on this thing. It's so cool to have a time capsule such as this. I mentioned on the box opening, you know, it's an old kit when MPC looks like that. Model Products Corporation. I mean, they even the 70s it didn't look like that. Matter of fact, that kit, that's late 70s. That's like 79. I was looking to see if I had any other MPCs. I know I got some MPCs up here somewhere that are old. Oh well, I might be looking right at one. But anyway, it's MPC. There's one up there. It's Connoisseur Classic. That's an MPC kit. You see the logos. Anyway, sorry, just sidetracked there. But anyway, it's an old kit. It's cool. It's like dealing with a time capsule. The plastic sounds different. I love the sound of that. You guys, it is so loud outside right now. The rain is just coming down. But anyway, I'm going to get these parts, a lot of parts removed, some chassis parts put together, some pre-fitting done, and I will be back in just a flash. Hey, if you hadn't subscribed already, go hit the subscription button. I'd appreciate it. Like this video, all those good things, and I'll be right back. All right. So this is like a day or two later from the first segment, and I don't have a whole lot done, but I have the engine built. That is going to be airbrushed. I don't necessarily like the chrome transmission and engine block, but it will be airbrushed. I'm not going to spray bomb this one. The chassis is together. It's one of those deals where it's two, so it's like an 8. If you've ever built like a semi truck, it's got the two long pieces, and it has several pieces, such as the cross member there for the engine, the axle that goes around on the back. It's a little hard to get it to be aligned properly, so I thought the best way for me to do it was to clamp it to the body, the underside of the body, so it would at least hold it in its position that needs to be while those parts cure. Also, this has excuse me, this also has steerable front steering, and I hope to get it to work. I've got the two-part, these are two-part spindles or steering knuckles or whatever, so I've got them in there and got them glued together with the Tamiya extra thin glue. So it takes a little while for it to bond that plastic. It just basically it melts the plastic together. But one thing about this kit, because of its age, I don't know if styrene plastic hardens over time or if it was just the quality. It was different in 1965 when this was produced. But it's a very hard styrene. It's not soft at all. It builds fine. And this is, again, I built my, right here, my 1948 Ford by IMC. And the plastic was really the same way. But it was a somewhat of a time capsule as well. It was like getting to do something that a kid back in 1965. As a matter of fact, the IMC kit was also 1965. So to be able to do this, thank you, George Woods, again, for sending me this kit. It's not every day that you get to do something or to build a kit that has that much age on it. This thing is absolutely 100% in pristine shape, except for a tidbit of damage on the windshield. Let me see if I can show you. So tire burn. See on the top, which there's two windshields. There's one that's got the bullet holes. It almost focused. There's one that's got the bullet holes. There's one that doesn't. And the one that doesn't, there we go. You see that little tire burn right on the bottom side? That's going to be okay, though. I don't really care about that. Part of that will be down below the windshield anyway, so it'll be down below that chrome. But anyway, I did also get the so the hood. Really cool about this thing, it's got a folding hood. So you know how the old cars, you lift the hood. So I got that put together. It's got the hinges on that, so when the hood folds up, so cool. Such a cool kit. MPC or not, you know, this is MPC gets that bad rap, right? It gets a really bad rap that they're just pure garbage kits. They're not. They're really not. There are a few that are worse than others. I will admit that. The Daytona, I believe it isn't it a Daytona. Yeah, the 69 Dodge Daytona. Yes, it has a lot to be desired. I haven't built that, but I've seen a lot of people that build it. They have tremendous problems with it. But that goes along with everything. I think all manufacturers have had their hiccups. MPC though, this kit, if you were to had handed it to me without a box or a brand, I couldn't have told you that it was an MPC kit because it's as good as anything else. Again, this has a lot of age to it, but it has age not like the molds were messed up or worn out. The molds were probably like brand new. This is a brand new. This was the first release of this kit. It was released several other times. I think even in the Connoisseur Classics, like I showed you earlier, that kit way right there. That is a Lincoln, but I don't think it's not the same. It's not the same one. But anyway, this is a great kit. It's coming together. I'm going to get some paint on it. I have not decided yet what paint color to paint it. I have quite a few of the MCW paints to choose from, thanks to Mark over at Hobby Nut Models. I have quite a few. I am going to paint the engine again with the airbrush. I'm going to try to make it look as detailed as possible. This contraption right here is a as far as I can tell, it goes on top. It goes on top of the engine, and it goes right over it goes right over the spark plugs. It's not on straight, but anyway, I think what that was a that was an encasement for the spark plug wire, so you want to run wires on it. It lays right on top of the spark plugs. But anyway, rambling on here. Fun kit, cool kit. Again, old kits, I've mentioned before, have a lot more reading in them. The new kits, they just have numbers and pictures. But these, you can just read right through it. You can read. You only have to have the. You could not have the picture, and you could read through it and know right what to do. Cement gas tank halves, number one. and 2 together. Cement and see, that's the part numbers. So it's pretty cool that the older kits had the it was to be read. But anyway, all right, guys. So I'm going to get more parts glued together, those that I can paint after they're glued together. But I'm gonna get some more parts together, and I will come back, and maybe by then I'll have a choice of paint color. So stand by. So I got all my got a booby trap set for somebody if they want to walk on top of my counter here. They're going to get toothpicks in their feet. So I got a lot of parts ready for some primer, and let me quickly show you how I do this. I've had people ask before, like, how did you attach the toothpicks? I just super glue this stuff on there. Like, I'll cut a piece of the sprue here for the body, and you'll find a place under the bottom that's not going to be seen, and that the little daub of glue is not going to interrupt any fitting. And there you have a handle to paint. Also, it pops right off. I'll put the super glue, and then I'll use my accelerant that I use. I've got it in this little squirt bottle. Same thing. Okay, like on the chassis here, I didn't really have a good spot to put it, so you're not going to see the top of the rear differential, so I just glued it on there. So once I get done painting, I'll pop that off. You'll never see that. So always find a place that, and I get these little toothpicks. See these toothpicks? Just a little hors d'oeuvre toothpicks. Kind of got a flat end on it. I will use that for small parts. I'll super glue it, and it's just a tidbit of super glue. So yeah, that's how I do it. But anyway, so so I've got a color scheme. Okay. The box, I'm not going to paint it like the box. The box is burgundy and black, which is nice, but I'm not going to paint it that way. I found a picture of one, and if I can remember to put the darn picture, I'll put the picture right here, right now, right there. This is what I want. This is what I'm going for. I like the cream, the two-tone type of cream colors. I think that's cool looking. I think I'm going to have to paint my spokes too. But that is what I'm going for. So I've got this. I looked through my MCW paints. I've got tons of them. I don't want to use a metallic at all. So that's why I'm kind of going here. Springtime yellow is what a 48 is right there. But I'm going to tone the springtime yellow down. So I'm going to mix. I'm going to do a little mixing. Use the same paint for the fenders as well as the body. Although the body is a different color than the fenders, I'm going to add a touch of brown or a touch of something to that mixture to paint the fenders. It'd be a darker color, and a lighter color for the body and the hood and all that stuff. So it's going to be interesting. This is very fun. This little booger is got some. It's not the easiest kit to build. That doesn't mean that's not because it's MPC. It's because it's just old and things weren't built. They didn't have the technology, I guess, for the molds and things. So there's some little quirks to it, but it's coming together. Got to get paint on it, though. I can't move any farther. And I got the engine is ready to have some paint shot on it, too. So anyway, I'm going to get some primer, and come back and talk about it and probably end this video. But anyway, let me get the primer on here. I'll come right back. Alrighty, so primer is on the body. The chassis is drying. It's flat black, but it's drying. Use the Mr. Hobby Surfacer 1000. I also have, I forgot to mention, I got from Hobby Nut. Let me show you. Hey, there's the Pro Street. I got got two other of these surfacers. I haven't used these two yet. But they come in black and white and gray. What's different though is the black is 1000, so it's a little more coarse as far as the finish of the primer. These are 1500 and both 1500, but these are black and white. So you know when you go, you don't want to paint. You don't want to have a black primer if you're going to put a light color. Primer or the undercoat has a lot to do with the finish color. So I chose to use the gray, the Mr. Surfacer, with the shoot through the airbrush. It is super smooth. It's a super smooth primer. Honestly, just me looking at it, I don't see a lot that would have to even be sanded, because I'll usually sand. Get this darn thing out of here. It's stuck. I'll usually sand on my my primer if I'm shooting like a Rust-Oleum, because it kind of goes on coarse. It kind of goes on heavy. So it leaves, but this stuff here, there we go. It is so smooth. So that's what I was, it's the Mr. Surfacer, the gray, the 1000. So it's a little more coarse supposedly than the other two. But so got that. I went ahead and shot the engine with the gray primer. I spray bombed my chassis. I'll use the 2X on my chassis parts and things like that. I don't have a problem with that. I can't paint my body. Some people can do it. I can't do it. I will ruin a body, or I will use a whole lot of purple power or brake cleaner. I figured out all the ways to get paint off. Oven cleaner, brake fluid, isopropyl alcohol, purple power. I've used it all because I've ruined so many paint jobs with spray cans. So, starting with using the airbrush is had been a lifesaver. MCW paints too. But anyway, me just rambling on here. So I'm going to do a custom mixture. This is the leftover bottle from the 48. So I'm going to mix some color with, I won't mix it in this bottle, but I'll mix it in my bottle that I'm going to paint with. I'll go ahead and mix the color for the I'll mix two different colors, one for the body and one for the fenders. And when you just a word of caution, if you decide to ever custom mix yourself some paint, you better mix more than you need, because sure as the world, if you make a custom mix of something like that, so if I take half the bottle, I'll add a little brown, I make it the color I want for the fenders, I spray the fenders, and if I just have enough paint, sure as the world, a darn bug or a big piece of trash or something's going to get in it to where you have to sand it back down, and then guess what? You're out of paint. So if you're going to mix paint custom, because you can't do that twice. You're not going to be able to duplicate a color. You don't have the machines if you're just putting a dropper. I mean, you could maybe get it close if you knew I put just one drop, but it's still not going to be perfect. So be careful with that. Also, with the MCW enamels, you can add hardener to it. You better only add hardener to the paint that you're going to use, because it gets hard. It ruins. So if you've got more than enough paint that's custom tinted for your fenders, you better only mix enough that you need to spray at that time with the hardener. If you mix the whole mess, it's in 2 hours, 4 hours, that paint you can't use it any longer because it hardens up. So just be careful with that if you use hardener in your paints. I do. It seems to give it a better gloss, in my personal opinion, and it also hardens. It seems to be, when you use the hardener in the enamel, MCW enamels, it seems to have a shell-like finish rather than the paint has to cure. So yes, it cures, but it chemically, the hardener is a chemical that causes that paint to harden rather than it just dries. So you literally, like 4 hours, you can handle it, and really you don't even have to worry about fingerprints. And if you give it to the next morning, you're good. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I'm going to end it here. I'm going to try and find a place to put this box down here so you can see one more time what it is. Gangbusters. Oh, yes. 1965 edition of the Gangbusters MCW MPC model kit. And here it is. 1965. This thing has been in this box until George Woods, who sent this to me. Thank you, George, for sending this. This thing has been in this box out of light for what's 1965 to 2022. What is that? I mean, I couldn't figure that. I'm not good with math like that, or at least quickly on the spot. But how many years is that? It was in the dark, inside that box for that long. Most, that's as long as a lot of people live life. There's people that don't even live that long, and this thing had been in the box that long. I think that is so cool. Maybe people are like, that's ridiculous. You sound like a nut job. No, I just think it's really cool that whoever had this thing put in a place where the box did not move, did not get damaged, the plastic was not torn. It's in pristine, perfect shape, the box is. And George, you opened it. What in the world? But George opened it and said he was going to send it to me so I wouldn't have to say I can't open it because it was already open. So I said I'll build it, send it to me. Cool kit. Can't wait to see some paint. I can't wait to see that cream color, that two-tone cream color, and then the spokes. I don't know. I'll have to look, but I think I'm going to paint the spokes also. It's going to look awesome. It's going to look awesome. Thanks, George, for sending it. Thanks, Mark, Hobby Nut Model, for the MCW paints and the Mr. Hobby primers. Thank you all for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And check out the Facebook group. Check out Hobby Nut Models. Link in the description below. Use that link if you don't mind. It would benefit me greatly if you'll use the Hobby Nut Models link in the description. Also, check out my Teespring store and Patreon. Thank you to my Patreon members. You guys support me financially so I can get things to continue this hobby, and I am so grateful for that. We're going to have a live stream very soon, guys. If you want to be a part of a live stream where it's just me talking on one end, it's all of us on the screen talking, and everybody streaming in. Become a member of Patreon. Link in the description below. But to my fellow Patreon members that are currently members, I promise you I'm going to be reaching out to you guys very soon. We're going to have another live stream. Anyway, thanks guys for watching this video. Isn't that cool? 1965. All right, guys. See ya. Bye.